The LA Art Show, one of the world's largest and longest running events where tens of thousands visit each year. The opening night premiere party is a night the stars come out to support finding cures and saving children. The LA Art Show donates 100% of the ticket price of patron and Vanguard tickets to the St. Jude's Children Research Hospital. The LA Art Show presents galleries that showcase premier, modern, and contemporary art. Continuing their commitment to historical and traditional contemporary genres, a sister show has been created called the Los Angeles Fine Art Show.
Hi, my name is Jane Glassman. I'm the Executive Director of Fine Art Dealers Association. And I've been asked by ArtQuench magazine to tell my story and tell the story of Fine Art Dealers Association. We are in George Stern Fine Arts. And why are we here? But we're here because George Stern was actually one of the founders of Fine Art Dealers Association. Going back to about 1990, a little more than 25 years ago, he and one of his colleagues, Bill Cargis, were sitting over a drink and talking about how they envisioned their careers as gallerists and representing artists, fine artists, could take the next step. And one of the things that they thought they wanted to do was to start an association of art dealers. The definition of that is someone who had an actual gallery space, someone who had actual inventory that they owned and invested in, and who dealt with the public at with integrity. Someone who took their profession seriously, wanted to really educate their public, someone who had the devotion to specialize and become expert in a certain period or genre of art and create an association, and also at the same time develop what was then, probably there were only a few, of the best and highest quality art fair west of the Mississippi. So the Fine Art Dealers Association and the Los Angeles Art Show were born. It started out just a few gallerists, a few dealers, and it grew to more than 50 at one point. The art fair began a few years after they formed the association, grew from 14 dealers in Pasadena to more than 120. And finally, I moved down to the convention center 8 years ago when I came on board. So they first hired me to do the VIP program for the art fair. And that seemed like a great project for someone like me who had lots of resources here in Los Angeles. And we did it with more than 20 events in 5 days. And from there, I became their executive director and helped, along with a team of people, including the board, including Kim Martindale as the producer of the show. And we added different elements to the fair that actually attracted several interested people to purchase the fair. And about 4 years ago, we sold the fair to the Palm Beach Group. Lovely people who were in the business, the art fair business, had several shows around the country. And we became a member of their team, so to speak. and they've put their own spin on it, for sure, as they should, but we still support the show. We exhibit there. This year, I'm proud to say, we brought a new collaboration for us. Fine Art Dealers Association has always had a history of promoting education and scholarship. And last year, we partnered with a nonprofit in New York called ICI, Independent Curators International. And we selected one of their shows to promote and travel all over the world. And it's Gertrude Stein's Salon de Fleurus. And we presented a corner of Gertrude Stein's salon in our booth this year at the LA Art Show, and it was amazingly successful. It surprised me how many people knew about Gertrude Stein and her autobiography, Alice B. Toklas, and I learned so much about Gertrude, even that we share a birthday. George Stern Fine Arts specializes in California Impressionism, 20th century, maybe like from 1860 to 1940. And, you know, like Edgar Payne, like William Wendt, beautiful landscapes, scenes from California. So we go from contemporary to cowboy to historical. And that's the story of Fine Art Dealers Association.
The artist perceives a great value in the outlets that provide enhancement to their vision of being viewed from their soul's personal technique and arrangement.
My name is Arx Johannes, and I'm an artist. I was born in Iran in an Armenian family and grew up in several cities there. We moved from town to town, and at one time my dad was working in a small town, so we went there, and I grew up with no Armenians there at all. And my mom, my dad took me to the farms, and I was little. I was there till I was 6 years old and visited farms. I loved that, and I loved the animals. And gradually then we came back to the town that I was born, and from there came to the capital city, and I was about 22, which I decided to leave the country. The revolution was happening in Iran. So I decided to move and go on with my life and probably continue my education. I went to Germany, and that was the only country I could go without a visa. And I was lucky. I just packed my bags and went there. A couple of years later, life changed, things happen in life, and I had to come to the United States. I could never imagine that I would get the visa to come here. It was very hard at the time, but I was very lucky. And in 1981, I came here and started working. I was working in a bank. I started drawing when I was little. My dad used to sit with me, and we did a lot of drawings together. And my teenage years, I lost my dad when I was 6 years old. So my uncle really was the father figure for me, and he really encouraged me a lot. And and he was an artist himself. In the beginning, I started with landscape and still lifes and flowers. And but as I was trying all these, I found myself more attracted to do portraits, figure, and especially children. And so I drew, I did a painting of a girl in the farm playing with the chickens, and which reminded me of my young age when I was little and going all those family farm visits. I also, at the towns, different places that I've lived, I've seen poverty as well, so I also painted a little boy that had only a piece of bread for probably whole day. And images come to me sometimes of my childhood, which I try to express those in my paintings. In the recent years, I listened to the news, and one of them was an incident happened to children, and it was an image of a child which was a victim of violence, and it affected me a lot. I love children, and seeing them hurt kind of really touches my emotions. And so I drew her picture, and I wanted to kind of, in my own way, saying that these children never die. They're always with us. I felt the pain that their families are going through, and I just wanted to say that they are here. They're always with us. They're angels. Recently, Los Angeles Art Association invited me to be at the LA Art Show, and it was an honor to be there. One of the benefits that I feel being in that art show was, number one, it was an international show, and a lot of people, 60,000 people are seeing your work. Not all of them will see, but you're hoping that, you're in the best place and one of the best shows in the world. So at least I feel that way. And these opportunities that arises from there, all the galleries that see, all the art professionals they see, the comments that you hear, the critics that you hear, all of those are the ones that I was looking for. Because if I want to take my art somewhere, I do need all these feedback. And I think that was a huge benefit for me to be there in that show. Overall, my experience with the LA Art Show was superb. It was excellent. I could not have asked more. I have to thank Los Angeles Art Association who invited me to be there. I'm honored. I'm so grateful.